Hey, what's up guys? John here again. So today I'm actually going to be installing a IPSCO power steering pulley and bracket. So it's for my Dodge Viper, of course, and one of the reasons for replacing this is I guess the power steering pulley is actually made out of plastic on these cars, and it's notorious for cracking or breaking. So it's one of those things that everyone's saying to do if you have a Viper, to upgrade it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. First I want to show you what came in the mail here. So this is how it came packaged. This is the billet aluminum bracket that's going to replace the cast one that's on there. And then this here is the billet wheel that they have too. And then it's got the hub in the center there. So I think there's some other hardware too. Oh, these are just instructions. Instructions and a center bolt. So yeah, that's that stuff there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the Jetta, the daily beater, and go to AutoZone. I'm gonna get a pulley so that I can take the pulley off of this, or sorry, I'm gonna get a puller to take the pulley off of this one here. So we're gonna go and head over, and hopefully they have it so that I can rent it. Here at AutoZone. Alright, let's go see what they got. The rental one? Yeah. Yep. Alright, so we got the pulley puller installer kit. So we'll try it out and see how it goes. Back. Okay, so let's go over what this thing looks like so that we can get a better idea. So this is the kit number. I don't know if you guys want to use this. It's the same one that you might try. It's from AutoZone, of course. So these are the pieces that come with it. So what I'm told is this sleeve comes off. These two halves go over top of the original pulley. You go around, you put that in there, put the sleeve over top, then you crank it, you hold this, push this, applies pressure into the center, pulls the pulley off. So let's go ahead and open up the car. And might also put some PB Blaster on the actual bolts for the bracket, and also on the pulley shaft. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna have to take off the airbox. Well, I guess I don't really have to. Probably could get in here anyways, but I'm gonna give myself a tiny bit more room. I might just take off this. Take off this one intake, and I'll take off this hose, give myself a tiny bit more room. And then I'm gonna have to get at the tensioner, which is in here as well. Looks like it's on the bottom there. So let's get some light in here, get set up, and then we'll see what we got. Alright, so to give myself more room, I'm gonna go ahead and take off this intake tube. So just these two band clamps here. Should set this free. it loose. Give it a little squeeze. Pop it right out. Put this off to the side. Then we're gonna take off this hose here. Feed it back this way. Tuck it out of my way for now. Should sit there nicely. Okay, so that's out of my way. And then it looks like there's these two bolts here holding the pump on. One here, one down below. But first I'm gonna go ahead and get the tension off the belt with the tension over there. So let's go to that side. Okay, so we're on the other side here. So on the actual tensioner, you can see that there, get some light in there. So on the actual tensioner, there's a 15 mil bolt on the end. So you're gonna wanna find a socket or wrench, something that fits on there, and you're gonna need a little bit of leverage as well. So I have this on here. I have a ratchet, 3/8 ratchet with just a bar on it for a little bit more of a leverage. So you're gonna put it on and you're gonna wanna apply pressure in the clockwise direction. So you're gonna be pushing this way. And you see as I push on here, let's see if we can get a little better picture on there. As I push this way, we get tension off the belt. And hopefully if I reach in here, I can slip this off this pulley like so. So the belt came off there. And then I can relieve the pressure. So once you slip it off that one, this idler pulley, you can probably pull it off the alternator here too. I have to play with it a little bit. Pull it off here. Pull it off the alternator there. And then I should be able to release it. Okay, so it's off. So the belt is off. We'll move back over to the other side and continue. All right, so the belt is off the pulley. The pulley's free. There's 3 bolts that hold on the pump to the cast bracket. So I'm gonna remove these 3 bolts. They are 13 millimeter. So there's one here, there's one here, and then there's one on the bottom. And how you get to it, there's holes in the front of this pulley. So you have to move the pulley, align the hole so you can get the bolt in, or actually the socket in to get to the bolt. I'm also gonna spray a little bit of PB Blaster. So I'm just gonna put some of this on some of the bolts. Some people said they had problems with getting them out, so a little bit of lube never hurts, right guys? So I'll put a little bit of stuff on this. And I'm also gonna put it on the pulley, right in the very center, just to help it off. Again, some people said that it helped them a little bit, so why not? So just a tiny bit, not enough to make a mess or anything, but enough that it can get in there. And we'll keep going. Okay, so next up we're gonna see how this puller works out with this pulley. So you're gonna see on your puller you have 2 different sides to this. So you have, you know, a larger diameter circle and a smaller. So if you try right away, so you can flip this either way, see how this grabs, you can see this one doesn't catch very nicely. And it's a little bit wide. So if you try flipping it, and tuck this into there, you can see that one's a nice fit. It's catching that lip there to be able to pull it off. So put that there. This is gonna go inside of here. So we're gonna loosen this off so that fits inside like so. Then we're gonna put the small diameter portion towards the pulley. Push this all over the top. And then there's the sleeve that holds everything together. That goes over the top. So once that's in place, we start tightening this and it should start pushing outwards, which it is. And then let me get a wrench to hold this and a ratchet to turn that. So we'll get those 2 and we'll start turning this and this should start pulling off. Okay, now that the pulley is off and that pump is down out of the way, I'm going to change out this bracket. So it's a 14 mil, there's 3 bolts here, so we'll crack these loose and we'll get that out. Okay, so I got the OEM pulley out of the car, so I just want to go over exactly how you get that out and how this pulley works in case anybody's curious. So like I said, there's 2 halves here, and on the half of this pulley shell, I'm going to call it, you have a smaller diameter, which you can see there, and then you flip it 180, you can see the large diameter. So you want to see which side fits best. So you can see on the side of this pulley, there's an actual groove. Yeah, you can see the groove on the side of the pulley. And that's what you're trying to pull up, is the lip on this plastic pulley here. So you're going to see, you're going to slide this in, and that's going to fit underneath that groove. So that's going to go there. I'm going to take the other shell, slide it on the other side, like so. So you can slide that in, but first, this has to be loosened. Well, this is extended because I just took this pulley out, but this has to be, I guess, shortened, or whatever terminology you want to use. And that goes about there. So you take the one shell off, you slip this in, this shell goes on, those go together, and then there's a sleeve that holds everything together, and that slips over the top. And then once you start tightening this down, this starts pushing on the center, and it'll start backing everything up. But I mean, I don't have anything in the back, so there's nothing to push on because there's no shaft there. But yeah, that's the setup there. So that worked well. At first it was really tight, made a big snap noise, and yeah, once it made the big pop noise, it was just very easy. It was just sliding on the way out. So now I want to compare the old versus the new. I'll take this puller off here, and I have the old parts and new parts. So here's the new billet wheel that we're going to be installing, the IPSCO pulley. And I guess this is supposed to be stiffer, stronger. I didn't have any exact issues with mine. There's no visible cracks or anything like that on mine, but all the Viper community is saying that it's notorious for going, so I'm not going to wait for that to happen. And I also want to be doing some track days too, so I don't want it to be under added stress when it fails. And then I also got this another option. Some people do get it, some people don't get it, but the actual bracket that holds the pump on itself. So you can see this is the cast piece, not a whole lot of material there. It's pretty thin. And I guess this is known for cracking. So yeah, that's that piece. It's really light compared to this one. And this one is significantly thicker. I mean, that's solid aluminum through there. All the way around, that's how thick this thing is compared to the other one. But they're not messing around with this. Line them up side by side. I mean, it's just no comparison whatsoever. You can see how thin this is right here. That's as thick as it is. And then this is at least 5-6 times the thickness of that one. So, yeah, I guess we'll put it in and we'll see how the install goes. Okay, so first I'm going to install the bracket since the pulley's out of the way. And the reason why I can get the pulley so far out of the way is because, or sorry, the actual pump, the pump's out of the way. The reason why I can get that out of the way as much is because there's no pulley on right now, so I can actually tuck the pump down there and give me some more room here. So I'm going to install this first, and then we'll put the actual pulley on the pump, and then once we have the pulley on the pump, then we'll bolt it onto the bracket. So let's get started. Okay, so next, as per IPSCO's instructions, not mine, they tell you to wedge a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, into the end of this slit to expand this to get it over the shaft. So I did this. You remove this piece of, I guess, the IPSCO pulley. That's a motorcycle going by. Yeah, so you remove this part from the pulley, and yeah, you're supposed to wedge this in here. So I wedge that in there, and then you can actually slide it right over the shaft once you wedge that in there. So that slides over. They want you to have a bit of tolerance on the back so that it doesn't bind on the housing. So yeah, it seems to fit pretty decently. And then I'll go ahead and put the bolt in the front of this as we remove this. So there we go, this is on the shaft here. Looks like I got good clearance. And we'll go ahead and put the bolts in the front. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and install 3 bolts, these long bolts that hold the pump onto the bracket. Alright, so next I'm going to put the pulley on the pump. And I haven't tightened, I installed the center bolt here. And I haven't tightened that bolt yet, or I haven't tightened these 3. I'm going to wait until I get the belt on so that I have something to grab this with and to stop it from spinning. And then I'll tighten up these 3 bolts and also the bolt in the center. So let's go ahead and put this pulley on. Okay, so the pulley's on. The bolts are all just kind of snug but not actually tightened yet. The 3 bolts that hold the pulley to this hub are not tight, and also the center bolt is not tight. So I'm just basically spinning it to make sure it's not binding on the back. I have good clearance on the back, and also the hub is actually pushed in all the way, but enough on the back that has a bit of clearance. They give you an actual spec for clearance, so that's within spec. And also this bolt on the front, once this tightens it down, it's actually flat, well, it makes it flush with the hub. So the bolt actually makes it flush with the shaft and the hub, and then gives you enough clearance on the back. So this is all set, and I'm gonna go ahead and put on the belt now. Okay, so I just slipped the belt on. A little bit pain to try and film and get it on at the same time, but basically what you want to do is you want to recheck all of your pulleys. So making sure that the belt is actually still in the grooves. So you want to double check, even though you didn't take it off the bottom ones per se, you want to make sure it's in the right track. So double check all those. And of course, you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to put a 15mm socket on the tensioner bolts. You're gonna get something to extend it. Unless you're Hercules, you can try to use just a 3/8 ratchet, but I made my life easier by just putting something on the end of it. And yeah, you basically put it around all your pulleys or get as close as possible. What I chose to do was basically get it close to getting over the alternator and left it off this idler wheel over here. And then once I did that, I slipped it over, it was on all the other pulleys, I slipped it over top of the alternator, and then last slipped it over this idler, and now we're good. So let's finish putting the rest of it together, and we'll tighten up the bolts on the other side. Alright, so this is the installed finished product. It's kind of hard to film and get my hands in there at the same time, so it won't be much to see. So that's it, it's installed, the belt's on, it's tight. It's not that difficult of a job. I'm not sure what to compare it to. If you watch my radiator hose video, I'd say it's similar to that, maybe a bit easier, less messy, no fluids to have to drain or anything like that. Another small tip, you guys, if you don't already know, this cap is notorious for coming off and coming loose on the Dodge Viper. Rowe sells a $20 hose basically that just goes and dumps it down. I just got a little spare hose that I had with a clamp. I put it there and I just zip tied it here. So this is keeping my cap from coming loose. I actually found this cap loose and rattling one day, so it's probably a good idea you guys do something similar, or drop the $20 on Rowe's hose. But I had this sitting around, so it's good enough for me. It's nothing too fancy, but it's not an eyesore either, and it does the right job. So alright, that's it guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe you're tempted to tackle something similar yourself. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and if you haven't already subscribe. I'll be doing more tech videos and also cars and coffee, fun stuff like that too. Alright, see you soon guys.
What we do here is go back.